Hey, it's Steve here at Soggy Bottom Farm. Let me give you an update on this weed eater head that I've concocted. I had quite a few harebrained ideas. If you don't want to listen to it and all that, just skip to the end if you want to see the performance of it. I don't know, the last 2 or 3 minutes of this video. Everything in between there is just me and some nonsense. Anyways, let me show you how this is constructed so I can possibly get some help. I had this harebrained idea that I could feed wire down through the center of this head like a wire welder, a MIG welder. It worked on my lathe, but I guess the RPMs of this thing, it sucked that thing right down the... I had this piece of copper pipe. I pushed it in there. It worked good, but it sucked that wire, that string right out of my hand. The bush hog thing was a complete disaster. So I had this harebrained idea. I would just feed it down here by hand. Well, it only took about 2 seconds to tear that whole spool of string right out of my hand. But I think it was because I was feeding the outside of the spool, not the inside. But anyways, I'm going to keep going. But if you just want to see how this thing's working as is right now, today, this is what we got going. Oh, by the way, this is a piece of wire cable, plastic coated trailer emergency cable. I just got it looped around a washer. Let's see how it performs. I never even thought about it. I never asked the kind of help I'm looking for. You know, if these handheld weed eaters can spin a couple spools of string and feed it by bumping it, because I made this thing separate, I should be able to... Trust me, when that thing started pulling that string out of my hand, it took off fast. So if I stop this for a minute, it's going to pull the string out of the spool. Then I can, you know, re-engage it with the pulley. And the spool will spin just like on a handheld weed eater. I don't know, I got a Troy built. I'm not too sure I can use with the way they manufactured that head. You know, so that I can get this done as fast as possible without throwing a month's worth of money into it. If you know of a good head that maybe I could pull the wire out from the inside, you know, the inside of the coil, just like on a box of Cat 5 cable. Alright, thanks. Let's go see how it runs. Steve here, Soggy Bottom Farm. Raining today all day, playing in the shed. I pulled all this stuff off of this lawnmower, this pulley contraption we had going on right here. We're going to go another route. I said I was. Here we go. Could have swore I heard this lawnmower praying this morning on my way towards it, asking somebody to help it. But nobody showed up. So I've been boring holes in it, punching holes in it. I've chopped some stuff off of it. The poor poulan. But anyways, we got a pulley mounted to that engine. Now my intention is to take the weed eater head that used to be on that piece of metal right there. I got him right here. I'm going to take this guy, put a pulley on the top of it and the bottom of it. And then we're going to run it up through this deck like this. and reattach this weed eater head. So, I think I'm close enough where I can finish this video in one day. Not the work, just the video. You'd think a guy would clean his lawnmower before he brought it in here. Man. Anyways, hang in there. I'll show you what's coming. Get this thing mounted on here. You know, I'm going to use the same belt as before. I think this is an AX36. Came off the Kubota lawnmower. So I already had the center line established here for that belt. It's going to be under tension all the time. Not the safest way to go, but that's how I'm going right now. Got to make some progress. Can't wait to show you my head. Let me show you one other thing I had to do. I didn't have any all thread. So before I cut this, I welded these two bolts together. But this one wasn't long enough for what I want to do now, so I welded another bolt to it. But hey, look. Not bad. Never wanted a piece of all thread so bad in my whole life. Alright, hang in there. Hey, it's the next morning. I bolted that thing onto this piece of pipe. Welded that on there the other way. I got this thing, you know, just attached. Nothing professional. I was talking to my buddy. I said, man, I think what I'm going to do is try to hook this thing up so I could use these old Sawzall blades. Make myself a little miniature bush hog here. You know, put that one there. This one here. Then they would do like a bush hog, you know. Anyways. You know, spin around. Then that's when I popped my bubble. I never gave a whole lot of thought to the amount of room in between the blade and the cover. These things might not work at all. We're going to keep on trying though. I'm going to put this together, and the first experiment's going to be running this thing like a miniature bush hog. I might have to bring these blades away from here to get some lift, you know. We'll see what happens. Hang in there. If this doesn't work, I think it's just going to push the grass over this cover. Push it over, and that ain't going to be able to do it. But if it don't, we'll try extending this out and try it that way before we put string in it. Let's see how it goes. Hang in there. While I'm soaking the water up in that gas tank, let me point out some things here that I have done with this version that I should not have done. When I operate this lever, nothing's wrong here. But when I come back this way, if you watch this rod right here and that pivot point, it's starting to get on the opposite side of the center, so that when I try to lengthen this again, it rotates it back towards the engine. And like right here, it's stuck. So as that thing gets to moving easier and easier and easier, it's not going to pivot there anymore. This thing is just stuck. I'm going to have to put that back on there the other way, I guess. Anyways, let me explain to you what's going on here with the wife's lid to the wife's pan. It was my intention that you'd be driving along and you'd contact something, and this whole shield here would rotate around whatever you were up against. And you know, the length of your blade, there's no way you'd ever make contact with something. You know, maybe if we get the thing figured out a little more. But if the bush hog idea won't work, We'll try it with string, but I'm worried about lift. All right, let's go see what happens here. It's wet grass. Hang on. All right, we're gonna start this thing. I got you clamped up to the tailgate of my truck here. Hang on. My daughter's not here to help me, so you gotta hang on. Let's give this thing a whirl. I better investigate that. Hold on. I started to take this engine off of here to put the pulley on it, and when I broke the first bolt, I stopped. Now when I'm pulling on it, that thing is jerking right off this thing. Let me get that taken care of. Hang in there. Man, I'm under here just drilling away. Everything is going great. That's when it happened. I started seeing aluminum. Sure enough, came right off the end of this bolt. I started out okay, but once she fell off of there, there's no recovering it. Alright, we'll get something to work on there. Just a lawnmower. Hang in there. Yep, that ought to get us through the day. Let's keep moving on. Okay, here we go. Maybe. Oh, you're thirsty today, ain't you? Let's go cut something. Okay, since the kid ain't here, you gotta come along for the ride. I'll do my best to make it steady. Here we go. That belt is really slipping bad right here. I'm gonna have to lengthen this thing a little bit right here. I don't have assortments of belts. Hang in there. That's the most work that lawnmower's done since it was given to me. Look, what happened is I got a better belt on here, and it unscrewed this thing. What is going on with this phone? Why are you so blurry? So, I'm going to take the welder here. We're going to weld up these nuts. Make sure that that don't happen again. Hang in there. Yep, just like that. Let's go cut something. Well, I found the weak link this time. I welded that on there, but something gave away on me. I think I'm at the point where I just gotta admit it to myself. Using this little bitty lightweight spindle right here just ain't gonna work. I gotta get something real put on this mower. Tired of messing around. I'm gonna you know, I gotta find some way of adjusting the belt. and tensioning and letting go of the tension. I can't hardly start this lawnmower with all these things already under tension. Alright, I don't know if I'll call this it or not. I might for today, but I don't know about for this video. But anyways, keep coming back if I do. Alright, Steve out. Let me point out one more thing that might have some influence on whether or not I go with that deck or not. Look at the flex in this lawnmower deck. It doesn't give you a whole lot of chances to make something strong if you're starting with something so weak. I might move to that deck right there. But either way, we're going to weed eat and push mow at the same time. Or bush hog. We're going to do something. We're going to use this engine for more than one thing. Alright, come again. The wind's picked up, so if you hear any of it, I apologize. But if you're like me, most of the obstacles in your mowing path look like this. This is what I'm trying to eliminate. Let's see if this contraption right here will do it. Hang on! If I wasn't holding the phone, I could have done that a whole lot better. But yeah, it scalped the ground. Crayfish live around here. I didn't see this thing getting hot. Maybe a little warm at the top. I don't know if that's from the belt. But the cable held out pretty good. You know, this is terribly unsafe. But I'm going to devise a cover next, I think. I'm going to try. So that when you're coming this way, the cover will be on the leading edge of the string over here. I'm thinking I can do this. And then when you're going back the other way, the cover would rotate around in this area, and it would always be between the string cutting and you, so you don't get so dirty. And then work on a feeding system. Alright, come again. Hope I didn't bore you too much.